Ooh, let's see, maybe it's streaming. Yes, it is. I think we're live, y'all. Wow, this is day 28, I believe. It is day 28 of Elsie Lincoln Benedict's book, How to Get Anything You Want. Yeah, day 28. Wow. Okay, let's continue with the rules that we were reading from this fantastic book, How to Get Anything You Want by Elsie Lincoln Benedict. Whoopsie, we're still on lesson 2, Remake Your Mood. Remake your mood. So the first lesson was your predominant moods make your life. Your predominant moods, the mood that you're in predominantly, make your life. That's why it's so important to emotionally regulate no matter what's happening. Things happen, life happens. But if we can emotionally regulate, the faster the better, because we're human. Again, we're going to have moments where we're upset, where we're sad, where we're triggered. And that's okay. Let's look at it. Is this something that I need to take action on? Is this something that's coming out from my subconscious mind? Is this like an unhealed wound, a pattern that I need to look at? But then release it and let it go. Tapping, EFT tapping, the emotional freedom technique. I have a couple videos here on my channel under, I believe I have a playlist called Therapy, and it walks you through the EFT, the emotional freedom technique tapping. There's also, I have, well, therapists can get them, but I think you can actually get bilateral stimulation, like buzzers that you put in your hands to relax you. I think you can get them on Amazon. I don't know if you have to be a therapist for that. What else? Butterfly tapping. Butterfly tapping can calm you down. Just walking, simply walking. Just that's why when they say, go take a walk, it'll make you feel better. It truly does. Taking a walk, the left and the right, the swing of your arms, it really it stimulates the left and the right hemispheres of your brain, of your body, and it can relax you. So your predominant moods make your life. And lesson 2 is how to remake your mood. If our life isn't how we want it, and it's because of our predominant moods that are subconscious and we've been programmed that way and we're not even aware we're doing it. How do we remake our mood? Well, she's going through that with us, and she's going through the different rules. We left off on rule number 6 last night, where she said, confine yourself to the business at hand. Most reasons why people are disappointed in themselves is because they know they didn't give it their all. They didn't give it their all. Let me move my microphone over here. Here we go. And we're not doing justice to our work, the work that we know we can do, like putting our all into it. So then rule number 7 is, don't let the facts stated just above or any others cause you to waste one moment regretting the neglect of your work in the past. So, if in the past you haven't been your best, you haven't done your best work, or you haven't put your all into it, recognize it, move on, do your best now, but do not spend a moment worried about the past. You can't change it. We can't change it. It might pop up like intrusive thoughts because they're like cringe, like, oh, why did I do that? But just be gentle with yourself. You are learning, you're growing, you know now, your awareness is greater now, and you give yourself grace, right? So rule number 7, don't waste a moment on the past. That is all gone. What's done is done. You can make up for it and everything else and actually profit by your mistakes if you will turn your back on every one of them and think only of the future. A great American once said, get rid of your regrets. You are what you are because of what you have suffered. Rightly understood and applied, every error can prove a blessing. Ooh, that is the truth. When people say no regrets, like I've definitely experienced regret. I don't think I carry it with me. It has no charge, but I definitely I have regrets, but they're like they don't have charge anymore. I processed through them. But when people say I have no regrets, it's like you can't erase experiences that you've had. Like you just simply can't. However, you can diminish the charge that they hold over your life and the meaning they give you. Like past regrets, the past regrets I've made, I call them unelegant choices. Um, they have no weight in my life. I don't beat myself up over them anymore. There was a couple doozers that I carried for about a decade, almost 12 years. It was just, oh, it's terrible. But yeah, I definitely have experienced regret. Oh my God, I've done things that I regret. You have no idea. But I don't carry them with me. And so it's kind of an interesting statement, like no regrets, don't have any regrets. It's like if you've never done anything that you regret, you haven't lived. But I think what she's saying is just don't carry that energy with you. Because every one of your regrets are made you who you are, right? And it can prove the mistakes you make can prove to be a blessing. That's certainly been my experience in life. Rule number 8, avail yourself of suggestion. The greatest law of the subconscious mind by keeping yourself surrounded with the little things that help you. So avail yourself to suggestion, the greatest law of the subconscious mind, by keeping yourself surrounded with the little things that help you. So autosuggestion, as Napoleon Hill talks about in Think and Grow Rich. How do you talk to yourself? Neville Goddard talks about your mental diet. What is your mental diet? How do you speak to yourself? We're talking to ourselves 24/7. Are you putting yourself down? Are you critical? Are you judgmental? Do you lack faith in yourself? What is your self-talk? I think you've seen, God, I have my mirror, my little golden mirror that I keep by my bedside, and I do mirror work. And you literally look in your eyeball with the mirror and you look in your pupil and you repeat things to yourself. And it can seem very cheesy at first, but we're talking to ourselves all the time. So if like you're in front of the mirror brushing your teeth, it's like just talk to yourself in your head or out loud. When I'm doing my makeup, it's a really powerful practice and one that I truly want to do more of because what a great gift we give to ourselves. Just saying I love you to yourself. We're gonna be okay. I use is it third person? I say you, Carla, you are gonna be okay. Everything always works out for you in the most miraculous ways. God goes before you, making your way sure. It's just so amazing. It feels good too. And don't be afraid to do it. Don't feel silly doing it because what's silly is continuing to talk to ourselves in negative ways that are making us feel like garbage. That's silly. All right. So, rule number 8, avail yourself to suggestion. Use words that help you. For instance, if you are in earnest about remaking your life, the first thing you should do is copy rules out of this lesson and put them in a place and place them that is conspicuous to you, but where others will not see them. So she's saying print out a list of positive words or phrases and keep them somewhere where you can see them in that is conspicuous and where you will see them, but others won't. I know one young man who I know one young woman who rebuilt her life by tacking these rules inside her clothes closet under the hook where she hung her nightdress. This compelled her to see them at least twice every morning and every evening, when she might otherwise have been too busy to look at them. A businessman of New York City changed himself from a morose, depressed failure to a happy, courageous success by pasting these rules in plain sight inside the top drawer of his desk. A private one which he opened many times a day, but with others which others had no occasion to see. It is better, especially at first, for you to keep this to yourself because the law of suggestion, like every other, works both ways. In self-defense, the unambitious and unaspiring are inclined to suggest failure to you, and this greatly delays the progress of any sensitive one, whether he admits it or not. That is so true. Surround yourself with positive people. Do you have a community of like-minded people? Many of you know I work at the Napoleon Hill Institute, and we have an amazing coaching program where it is like a full immersion. There's daily live classes. It starts with like a morning self-discipline camp early in the morning. You're with a group of like-minded people. It's really high energy. You write your goal. We visualize. We breathe together. And then we have a daily study call, which is, I believe, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, and it's a study call where we study books, well, from Napoleon Hill, but and we it's not just we don't just read. It's not a book club. It's really a study, and we dive in and we have conversations around it, and it's a wonderful way to start your day. And we have so many other live classes. So if you're interested in that, if you are interested in that, this reminds me, I'm going to do a whole kind of like little workshop on it before the end of the month because we're actually, and I'm not just saying this like, oh, you better get in while you can, but the prices really are going up because we have offered pretty much the inaugural price for the mentorship program for the last 2 years. We just turned 2 years old, January 11th. But the prices are going up. So if you are looking for a personal development program, if you like anything that I teach, I'm a teacher over there as well. And you can work with me personally in my group, included when you sign up for the program. So just message me. All of my information is below and the information about our program as well. So if you're into personal development, it's a true full immersion. It's instant community, accountability, and just something to keep you on track. That's what it really is. So reach out. All the information below. All right. So a businessman used it every day in his drawer. be careful not to put it out in front of other people because she's saying that unambitious and uninspiring people will give you that opposite energy. And it's going to affect you, right? If you're going after your goal and you have your new little budding faith, you have to protect it. You really have to protect that. This attitude is especially characteristic. So the negative attitude of unaspiring, unambitious people, she says this attitude is especially characteristic of the skeptical, critical people in your immediate environment who like to think they know you better than you know yourself. This is such, I love this phrase, familiarity breeds contempt. So, and it happens all the time, like family members, hello, that's like the biggest thing. When you know someone, and we do know people, but when you think you know someone, and you don't allow them to change or to grow, you use what you know against them. You use their weaknesses against them. And that's why I'm so grateful to be a part of, personal development world and a part of the Napoleon Hill Institute because we're always growing. Like the people that I work with now, like the people that I met are not the same people after just a few months. I'm not the same person. I mean, they see the changes in me and they'll continue to. And we're all growing together. And it's hard because when you're the only person growing, you lose a lot of people. You lose a lot of people. And so it's always about seeing the greatest in a person and not shrinking and seeing them small. But at the end of the day, no matter what group you run with, there are people who feel threatened by your growth. And they don't want to see you rise above because they fear that they're going to lose you, right? Subconsciously, or they're afraid that you're going to get more opportunities than them or whatever it is. But it's really just fear of maybe losing you, especially if you're a good friend, or it could just be a jealous person, right? It's like you got to use your intuition with that. But that's why it's important to surround yourself with like-minded people who are always encouraging your growth and invite it and celebrate it rather than try to sabotage you and keep you down and, just, I don't know, just even if it's subconscious in their own energy. Gotta watch out for that. All right, so he's saying that this attitude of pessimism is common in skeptical, critical people who like to think they know you better than you know you. And the last point on this is we think we know people, right? I'm guilty of this, but since doing this work, I'm very, people amaze me. People amaze me. And I like to see people in their best because that's the way I like to see people. But this line right here, people think they know you better than you know yourself. And I experienced this last year, I mean, pretty much all my life. And especially in my unelegant moments of weakness, right? Of growth or of like a low season. If you meet someone and they think that's who you are and they'll judge you and they'll be like, I know who you really are. It's like, do you know who I really am? Do you? Because I think that the person you met, you want to keep me to that lower version. And this is the truth. We see people in a way that if you're like low consciousness, I mean, not aware doing your work and knowing that you're just hurting yourself when you think of people in their lowest form or in a negative way. And we always pay for it. You're the one that pays for it. When you judge people and you see them like, oh, they're never going to win, it's like you're saying that about yourself. So it behooves us to always be a cheerleader for other people and see their best and hope they win because that's the energy that you carry. But yeah, people like as many people as you know, that's how many versions of you exist. Right? It's like there are people out there with the highest versions of me and the lowest versions of me, and it's none of my business at the end of the day. I try my best to see the highest version of everybody and expect that they're going to be a success. Even people that like I don't run with anymore. Like I really do when I see like I really do because I remember I saw someone who was like the exact opposite and I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, I expected them to be super successful. They just got into like drugs and stuff, and it was just sad. But I always expect people to just grow and thrive, I guess, because that's what I'm always thinking about. And that makes me feel good. Yeah, there's times when I can get upset with someone and I'm like, well, they're getting, I'm just like not jiving with but it's like they're going through a journey. And so am I, right? I would want to be given that same respect and grace through those moments. So yeah, it's really important. That's great. So this is skeptical and critical people, and it says, remember our one big fundamental rule: make everything as easy for yourself as possible. Give yourself every chance. Then you cannot fail. There is no such thing as failure, especially when you're going after your goal. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Okay. So if you're not failing, you're not going after anything. Let's be honest. You're playing it safe. Fair enough if that's how you want to do it. But really, there is no such thing as playing it safe. It's dangerous to settle because you're not really settling, you're falling back because we're either growing or we're dying. All right. Every business house in America has recognized the efficacy of these reminders, and many of them have profitably invested thousands of dollars in such slogans as "Do it now," "Every knock's a boost," etc. The most famous of all such things was Elbert Hubbard's message to Garcia, a little essay so full of suggestions for the workers that firms all over the world ordered copies of it for their employers. It was translated into 26 languages and over 40 million copies were sold. Suggestion is the most potent force in business as well as in personal life. Suggestion, particularly autosuggestion, a suggestion from yourself to yourself. We're always suggesting to ourselves. What are we suggesting? I'm surrounded with like sticky notes to remind me of positive words, always suggesting to myself, even my periphery, right? My brain is picking up on it and I'm not even aware of the words that I surround myself with. So suggestion is the most potent force in business as well as in personal life. If you would succeed at anything, you should avail yourself of suggestions of a constructive nature wherever possible. To be sure of enough of them, do not wait for them to happen, make them happen. The printed or spoken word is by no means the only ways in which suggestions get into the subconscious mind. In fact, everything we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell, as well as everything we say, think, and do suggests something to us. That is the truth. That's why I'm always careful to surround myself with like beautiful, like I have candles, flowers, books, my little crystals, just beautiful things, the rock head. So it's like everything's suggesting to us. And it has an impact subconsciously. Whether any class of suggestions get sidetracked and kept out of the subconscious or whether they go straight into it depends on the standing orders you have given your habit mind. All good suggestions have the right of way, the main track, as it were, and take precedence over all others as soon as you give orders to that effect. Give that order right now to your whole self, and henceforth keep plenty of helpful reminders around you. In addition to these rules, have aspiring slogans, poems, and mottos in plain sight. They are of estimable value. Choose those which appeal to you personally, whether anyone else likes them or not, and do not try to see any that do not appeal to you, no matter how popular they may be or how much they mean to someone else. In these matters, every soul lives alone. It knows its own needs and must make its own selections. I'm just going to stop right there. That is so good. Yes, she just reminded me the importance of autosuggestion here. This is from Don Green. I have this. I always keep it in the book. If it is to be, it's up to me. If it is to be, it's up to me. Don Green. I love that. Of the Napoleon Hill Foundation. All right. Well, that was a beautiful read. Oh, and I have this quote here. It says, I remember when I wrote this. I walk in a field of grace, divinely guided by God every step of the way. Every move I make is in alignment with God's will for my life. Amen. Oh, I have that right here to read whenever I want. I will forgive this and this will disappear. This need not be. What else? There's a lot of things, but they're personal. Discipline, boundaries, accountability. Forgive, extend love, receive love. So many beautiful words. So many beautiful words. So surround yourself, especially if you're at your desk. Just write them on a sticky note, on a Post-it note. They make all the difference. I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to finish tomorrow. Not finish. We're going to continue tomorrow. And as always, if you want to work with me one-on-one, all the information is in the YouTube description below. If you're on Facebook, be sure to come over to YouTube and check these out. Or in Facebook, click the link in my profile and it has all of the information to visit me.